You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor, subscribe to the channel, leave your comments below, and be sure to smash that like button. I got a question on the text line asking, should LSU, this is from Kelly Snyder, said, should LSU make a run at the Oklahoma or Ohio State quarterbacks that entered the portal? The answer to that question is layered, and I'll kind of sort through this as best I can, understanding that over the last week, Brian Kelly went through roster evaluation, sort of exit meetings, staff evaluation to determine what changes they're going to make on staff, and there's going to be defensive staff changes. I know everybody, myself included, is anticipating a change at defensive coordinator. Not sure that's going to happen. I am fairly confident in saying there's going to be at least 2 defensive staff changes. And part of this process as well, of course, is evaluating your roster and evaluating the quarterback position and what you're going to do moving forward. I'll give you a blend of what I know and what my opinion is on different things. Let's start with the bowl game itself, okay? Because I think we have to start there to answer the quarterback question. Here's what I mean. I am anticipating, and I do not know this for a fact. I want to be very clear. This is where I'm blending information I have and my opinion. So I want to be clear. I do not know this for a fact. But I am assuming Jayden Daniels is not going to play in the bowl game. Jayden Daniels is going to go win the Heisman Trophy this weekend. He's going to go on the rubber chicken circuit, collect a whole bunch of awards, travel all over the country, rightfully acquire the spoils of victory. And then he's going to go to California and train with his quarterback coach for Senior Bowl, Combine, Pro Day, all that stuff. That's what I assume is going to happen. Again, we all understand, I'm being very clear. I'm not telling you something I know. I'm guessing that Jayden Daniels is not going to play in the bowl game. I'm not telling you he's made that decision definitively, but I'm just being abundantly clear. So there's no, you said, I'm guessing. I'm telling you I'm guessing. If I'm Jayden Daniels, not playing in the bowl game. There's no point in doing it. Use the month of December he has elevated his draft stock all the way up to where Pro Football Focus today has him as the 9th pick in the draft to the Saints. Last week, Dane Brugler from The Athletic had him as the 7th pick to the Buccaneers. You're talking about a guy that has elevated his draft stock to be top 10. There is no sense in playing in that bowl game. I don't think he will. So, if Daniels doesn't play in the bowl game, this is an amazing opportunity for Garrett Nussmeier. Remember, players can enter the portal whenever they want. Players can only enter the portal during the portal designation, but you can sign and make your decision whenever you want, okay? So they may only have this 30-day window to enter the portal, but they don't have to make a decision today. If Garrett Nussmeier plays in the bowl game, that could end up being a very deciding factor into whether or not this coaching staff looks in the portal for a starting quarterback or a backup. Are you looking for someone to come in and challenge Garrett Nussmeier to be the starting quarterback at LSU? Or are you looking to bring in someone who can give you some veteran depth? And it depends on a couple things. One, how confident are you in Garrett Nussmeier to be your starting quarterback? And 2, how much money are you willing to spend? Remember last week, Matt Rule said it. Matt Rule, the Nebraska coach, went on record and said, let's be honest. Starting quarterback in the portal now costs $1 million, $1.5 million, $2 million. And you better believe that every quarterback in America heard that and went, well, I know I'm not going to be an NFL quarterback. I got a chance to go make $1 million, play a year of college football. Count me in. A lot of people saw today that Dillon Gabriel from Oklahoma hit the portal. Why do you think Dillon Gabriel hit the portal today? Dillon Gabriel's not going to be an NFL starter. Maybe he could surprise us all and become that someday, but realistically, that's a kid that was at UCF, hit the portal, got paid to go play at Oklahoma, and now gets a chance at a second payday. And maybe it's from Oklahoma to stay. I don't know what it'll be. But look at the list of quarterbacks that have hit the portal. Some of them we've already talked about. Riley Leonard from Duke, DJ Uiagalelei from Oregon State, Cam Ward from Washington State, Kyle McCord, former five-star, Ohio State. He's going to hit the portal. That's a guy that's going to be poised to get a seven-figure payday somewhere as a starting quarterback. This list is long when you look at all these. Look at On 3. I mean, Taylor, you can pull this up. I mean, look at this. As I just scroll through this, there's Riley Leonard, Ben Finley, who's leaving Cal, DJU, who's leaving Oregon State, Cam Ward, who's leaving Washington State, Kyle McCord leaving Ohio State, A.J. Swan, who's been a starter at Vanderbilt. I mean, there are dozens of quarterbacks on this list. Some names you know, some names you don't. I mean, Max Brown, who's now leaving Florida. There's Dillon Gabriel, who's leaving Oklahoma. He hit the portal. Drew Pine, who left Notre Dame, spent this year at Arizona State. He's out now as well. I mean, it is a long list. Brock Vandegrift, if you missed it today, hit the portal, the Georgia quarterback. It's a former five-star there at a log jam. I mean, you have a long list of quarterbacks that have hit the portal. So if you're LSU, your question is, do you think Garrett Nussmeier can be the starter? If so, then you're going into the portal to get veteran depth, because you can't go into next year with Garrett Nussmeier, who's got fewer than 200 career pass attempts, and Ricky Collins, who basically handed the ball off for a series against Grambling. You can't be a turned ankle away from your season resting in Ricky Collins' hands. So you've got to add a quarterback. The question is, are you doing what Ole Miss did? Hey, let's go get Spencer Sanders, a 4-year starter at Oklahoma State, to come in to compete with our guy to see if he can beat him out. Or are you just adding someone who's been a starting caliber quarterback around college football to come in and give you veteran depth in case you have the turned ankle scenario I just described? And a lot of that, I think, is going to depend on how you feel like bowl preparation goes with Garrett Nussmeier and how he plays in the bowl game if Jayden Daniels opts out. So that's where I think they are. The other part of that is not just need, but what can you afford? Let's be very clear. And I've said this to you before. The irony of Jayden Daniels is that his success is ultimately going to cost you money. When LSU got Jayden Daniels from Arizona State, he didn't get no seven-figure NIL deal. He got a little money, but it wasn't life-changing money that he got. It was more, I think Jayden was excited that LSU was interested in him at that point. So now you fast forward, he's your 2-year starter. He's going to win the Heisman Trophy. And then look around the rest of college football where so many elite-level starters or transfers. Michael Penix transferred from Indiana. Bo Nix transferred from Auburn. Like, it's pretty obvious. The quarterback market to get a high-level starter is going to cost you a lot of money. Is LSU prepared to pony up 7 figures for a quarterback? And I don't know the answer to that. What I will tell you is what I've told you a lot throughout this transfer portal era, which is LSU's collective is not as well funded as other places. They are behind. I don't really have much of an appetite for people pushing back on me and telling me that's not factual. I think LSU does not have this sort of endless supply or surplus of cash to spend in the portal. So they've got to be very mindful about how they spend the money that they have. It's not to say they don't have any money. But if you expect LSU to be able to do what A&M did a couple years ago, what we've seen Florida do in the portal, Missouri, the money they're spending, there's places that are doling out cash, y'all. Lots of it. And LSU don't have lots of it. That's okay. I've told you all the time, the advantage you have is the dirt. You got great players in the state that will always want to play at LSU. That's an advantage you will always have. But when you do go spend in the portal, you have to be responsible with the way that you spend in the portal and how you allocate the money that you have. So is LSU going to be willing to pony up $1 million to sign a starting caliber quarterback? A lot of y'all, hey, should LSU go after Brock Vandegrift? Should LSU go after Kyle McCord from Ohio State? You can, but if you go after a Kyle McCord, you're going to pay him 7 figures to come here. Are you willing to make that type of investment, or do you stick with Nussmeier for next year? My opinion, again, let me click. Big flashlights. Opinion. Said LSU's going to add a quarterback. You're not going into next year with just Nussmeier, Collins, Hurley. You're not. That's not a reality when you have the portal available to you. You will add somebody. The real question is, are you getting a starter, or are you getting a quality backup for Garrett Nussmeier? And there are 2 questions you have to answer. Do you believe in Nussmeier? How much are you willing to spend? And when we have the answer to that, we'll know who LSU will be targeting in the portal. Thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact. And be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.